2022 Finance Committee meeting to order at 6:45. The chair would entertain a motion for the approval of claims.
Madam Chair, I make a motion for the consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $544,263.87. Payroll and liabilities for June 3rd, 22 in the amount of $219,986.35 for a total of $764,250 $764,250.22. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Okay, Councilmember Salisbury made the motion. We have a second by Councilman Pronto. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Is there anything further that we need to discuss?
I have nothing, Your Honor.
All right, with that, we stand adjourned at 6:46.
Of the Riverton City Council to order at 7 p.m. We're fortunate tonight to have two members of the armed forces with us, and we asked them to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And after that, Councilman Bailey will give us the invocation.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Hand salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our dearest Heavenly Father, thank you for the many blessings that we enjoy, especially for the opportunity to serve here in the city of Riverton. Please bless us in all that we do tonight and help us to make the best decisions possible for all of the citizens of the city of Riverton. Please bless all of the police, emergency responders, firefighters, and all of those that serve us every day and put their lives on the line. Please keep them safe as they go about their duties protecting us. Please help us to appreciate all of the amazing things that we have living in this wonderful country and this wonderful state. And we ask all of these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Would the city clerk please conduct a roll call?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilwoman Lindsay Cox.
Here.
Councilman Mike Bailey.
Here.
Councilman Dean Pronto.
Here.
Councilman Kyle Larson.
Here.
Councilwoman Christy Salisbury.
Here.
Mayor Richard Gard.
Here. The chair would entertain a motion to excuse Councilwoman Borders.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is from Councilwoman Cox, and the second is from Councilman Bailey. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. I declare that we have a quorum present. The chair would entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Paranto has a motion. Councilwoman Salisbury has a second. Council discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Before I go on to 7, we had, last Tuesday was Flag Day. And the mayor from Du Bois, I'm fortunate to serve with, John Meyer, he was passing through town, and he was so impressed by our flags that were flying on Main Street and Federal that he stopped his car and called me and told me how pretty they were and how grateful he was for the opportunity to drive through Riverton on Flag Day. And I told him I would get that message to the people of Riverton, and then I came to Tuesday night's meeting and I didn't get it said. So this morning I was fortunate enough to go down to the Veterans Hall, and the gentleman that put the flags up could join us, and I would thank them for their service. So if they would come up to the podium, introduce themselves, so everybody on the TV audience knows who you are, I'd appreciate that.
I really appreciate the chance to be here and speak to you this evening for the Avenue of Flags as well as Veterans Hall. My name is Warren Hess. I'm a Korean veteran. Served 8 years on the USS Lexington, which is a floating museum in Corpus Christi, Texas now, and that just kind of ages me a little bit. Tonight I brought Chuck Arndt with me, member of the VFW, Vietnam vet. And it's been our privilege to serve this community. I might say this, 45 years ago, I came into town with 2 teenage girls and myself, not knowing where I was going or what I was going to do. Met a Riverton girl, and that's been 45 years ago, and I've never left. It's been a community that I fell in love with, the people I fell in love with, and to be able to serve this community in the capacity not only of the Avenue of Flags, but other endeavors that we all do together has been a privilege. And I really appreciate and thank you for that opportunity to do that. You want to say something, John?
Yes. I was fortunate enough to have my parents grow up here, my grandparents. I spent most of my life in California until I retired. And then when I came here, the first thing I did was get involved with the local veterans. I love what they do. It's a challenge sometimes, but we do what we do, whatever's necessary. And we thank you.
We really appreciate what you guys do, and part of what message that I'd like to get out is you guys could use some help. That's a lot of flags, isn't it?
Absolutely. A little over 12 years ago, and I was the young guy in those days, and now I'm the old guy. The idea of the flags, they weren't getting put up regularly like we thought they should, and it kind of got dumped into the lap of myself, Jack Ratliff, and Harold York, who passed on since that time. We rebuilt it. We put out the flags. Right now, we do 160 flags. My dream is to increase that, and if I could have the help to get those flags out that I could depend on each time, because we put them out at least a good 14 times a year. All the major holidays plus things like the other things, Day in the Park, the rodeo, the fair parades, all of those kind of things is when we like to have our flags out. We want our community to have the best face forward all the time. And so we work very hard at it. And it takes, I have it divided up into 3 routes, takes 3 pickups and at least 1 person to drive and 1 person to put out or more if they're available. What I would like to do is organize that in such a way that I could call a certain group of people and say, this is your holiday, I'll let you pick the holiday you want, but I want to organize it so the same people don't have to do it all the time. On Flag Day, Nancy Eustace and her husband and myself and Chuck Arndt, Don Lowe, put all those flags out. We did all 3 routes by doubling up. But I need people, and I'm getting a little long in the tooth, so I don't run as easily as I used to. And I know Chuck is not too far behind me. But all you have to do, if you want to help in putting the flags out, contact me, Warren Hess, at Veterans Hall, and I'll be glad to set you up, because we meet at 6 o'clock on whatever morning we're going to put the flags out at the Reach Foundation, which is where our flag shed is. And we put those flags out. And on Flag Day, that's a single holiday in the middle of the week. We'll put them out 6 o'clock in the morning and pick them up at about 4:30 in the afternoon. On the major holidays that we have a weekend, I try to put them out and let them stay up the whole weekend, because I think it makes the community look so much better when the flags are there. So it's not a hard job. It takes about an hour and a half. You can get some exercise. And
You know, with our Legion team that you guys sponsor,
yes,
that would be a really great activity for those young men to participate in. And I know their new coach, Wally, would really think that that's a good idea also, so I'll talk to him about that.
that would be wonderful, and we can pick times that is convenient for them to do just that. Just so you know, the people in the community, the businessmen and everything donate. We don't ask for any particular thing. They donate whatever they feel like they would like to. All the proceeds, we do it voluntarily. All the proceeds go to youth activities, military science classes, Boy Scouts, Boy State. We pay the tuition for all boys that go to Boy State each year out of that. And also the Raiders baseball team. This year we were able to contribute $1,000 to their fund last year it was $2,000, so it just depends on how the donations come in. Like I say, we don't ask for any particular amount. What we really want is your help. And physically or in donating,
Financially, either one.
either one.
And my business is not on Main or Federal, and you guys put flag up there for me. And I really do
A
appreciate
lot of
it.
the side streets.
I have one route that covers the south side and down Federal Boulevard. The other side covers the north side and up Federal Boulevard and Main both. And then I have what I call a jump route, and that just jumps all the side streets. And we cover as many businesses on side streets as we possibly can.
We really do appreciate that, and I'll get that recognition out tomorrow and signed and down to the Veterans Hall. So
I appreciate that, and
if I could,
we want to thank everybody because of their generosity and their help. Has been really wonderful over the years, and I'm very thankful because I've been doing it long enough now that I guess it's just my job. I don't know. But one day, somebody's going to have to replace me.
let me come down and shake your hands, and maybe Ernie will take a picture and get it on the, where it needs to be.
What's the next holiday that it comes up? Fourth of July?
Probably.
You think?
Just in case.
Item 7 is communication from the floor, citizens' comments. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the council regarding an item that is scheduled for a public hearing will be given the opportunity to speak during that public hearing. Anyone wishing to address the council on any other item may speak now. I would ask those individuals who wish to address the council at this time to approach the podium and identify yourself for the record. Hello there.
Hi, my name is Jackson Hill. I'm the president of the Riverton FFA chapter. This is Danny Santee and Emma Hill, and we're here on behalf of Fremont County 4-H and FFA, asking that we could hang flags during County Fair Week on Federal and on Main Street.
We'll hang them up on July 29th, and then we'll take them down August 8th. And we'll do like alternating 4-H and FFA flags. So. This is Abby Santee.
Hello there. Maybe your instructor would like to come in front and take a picture. We got time to do that, and so you can get them all at the podium. Instead of just the back of their heads.
Mom, teacher, coach.
So you want to put flags up from the 29th to the 8th of August, right?
Yes, sir.
And we appreciate the FFA. We think a great deal of our future farmers of America. So
Thank
we're glad you're here. Is there anything else that we should know about what you want to do?
I don't think so. Do you guys have any questions?
Thank you, guys.
I'm
Thank
supposed
you.
to ask. I'm supposed to ask the questions.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
We appreciate that.
Our goal is to kind
We really do need that. It's a great organization. So if you need anything, maybe we should assign them to set up American flags for the next couple holidays.
Actually, I think Abby was talking to them about that.
Well, good.
Great.
That's a great opportunity for us. It really is. And we shouldn't just leave it to two old guys to work themselves to death on it.
We should not.
It'd be a wonderful thing if you could help with that too. So pass that word and I'll pass it my way. So
You got it.
I think, council, is everybody okay with flags going up?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Staff, okay?
Absolutely.
I think you got our permission. Thanks for coming and asking.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you, sir.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Thank you, Mayor, for the prayer tonight. I live at 805 East Jackson. I've lived there for 17 years now. My name's Greg Talibus, and our quality of life has declined quite a bit with the recent shooting and the criminals going up and down the block in the evenings make it hard to even enjoy our yards. I have a lot of elderly neighbors, and they're very concerned. So I come tonight asking, could we put together a neighborhood watch? We're looking for resources. My neighbors have started putting up lights. We've had cars stolen, vehicles gone through, and it's become uncomfortable in the last year and a half. And I know our PD is doing everything they can, but as citizens, we'd like to try to help, not in like I carry a gun way, but in the right way, to be more social with each other, maybe signs, sensor lights, whatever is possible to try and help. We would like to participate and to make our neighborhoods safer instead of just letting it go and get worse. We'd like to make it better.
So we have talked in the past about a neighborhood watch group, and it's never materialized, but it's got to start sometime, and maybe this is the spot to start. And so
Absolutely.
we would be supportive, and you could use our facilities to set up your meetings and invite people to come to. It could be citywide. It could just be that 2-block stretch. What's about 4 blocks long and 2 blocks wide would be the area that we're looking at.
Yep.
I know that I have nothing but high praise for our police officers,
Me too.
and they do a wonderful job, and they try to patrol that section of town, and I'll ask them, and I know they'll watch that as good as they can.
Mm-hmm.
But the police department is designed to show up after the problem, right?
Right.
And so whatever we could do to enhance that with your ideas of lights and motion detectors. And I did stop the neighbors just behind the pawn shop were trying to sell a house, and the graffiti at the pawn shop was a problem, and the owner at the pawn shop was kind enough to paint that away. And so there's lots of things that we could do to improve
Sure.
that neighborhood. So anything you can come up with, I'll attend your meetings, and if you tell us where and when, I bet $5 the police chief would go with me.
Your Honor, I absolutely would.
That would be great. Okay, and so I can come to you as we kind of grassroots this into an organization that'd be good for our community. I mean, don't really know what to do, but we're open for anything in a positive way.
I don't know if Crime Watch is a trademarked name, or do we have to have permission for any of that?
I don't think so, Your Honor. I'll find out tomorrow, but I don't think you do.
So let's just get a meeting started, and you're welcome to use our facilities, and we'll get as many interested people as possible, and we'll start on those 4 blocks long and 2 blocks wide. How's that?
Right, great. And we could put together some people to help. I'm still painting, so we could go paint over that graffiti and just get our neighborhood feeling like it should be,
The pawn shop painted, they did it, they painted it for me. But we did get vandalized in our own skate park, which surprised me this last 2 weeks. And so whoever's painting those things, we'd appreciate it if you'd stop.
Right.
And that'll cause us, the city crews are quick and they are good with graffiti, but the guys painted that raw concrete and it's really hard to get off.
Yeah,
And so
porous surface, yeah, you're right.
if we could get people to stop that and help us out, but that's something that Neighborhood Watch can deal with, so.
If they see us as a community together doing projects and, you know, visiting each other and with motion lights, at least they'll take notice that we care about our neighborhoods. There's children and there's elderly people. 4 or 5 of my neighbors did not even hear those gunshots at night. And, you know, that's alarming because, you know, they're sound asleep. And those shots fire and they come ringing through and, you know, it's disturbing. I think that if we can show unity in a positive way, that behavior's just not welcome. Maybe we can make some good progress.
Your Honor,
Yes.
there is a manual for me on the Neighborhood Watch manual on USA on Watch online. It has a manual to set it all up, and it's on,
Okay,
so.
She's a speed reader.
that was good.
You'd be good to get on the team, won't she?
Well, thank you for your time and allowing me to express that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll be in touch and thanks.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Hey, Mike?
Well, and it's not for him directly, but I've talked to a lot of people sometimes that are hesitant to call the police. And I guess to me, one of the biggest things you can do is if you see something that looks suspicious or out of line, we need to call the police. They cannot be everywhere at all times. They need told that there's a problem somewhere, and then they'll come. Now, if they're on the other end of town, it might take them a little bit to get there or something, but they've always come whenever I've called them, and for big and small things, so.
Your Honor?
Don't be bashful.
I will tell you that we did a lot of interviews after that happened, and everybody we talked to said it was literally like Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. There was that many people out on the street at 3 o'clock in the morning that morning. They said there was probably 100 people just around the neighborhood, like all over the place.
Well, we appreciate everything that you're doing down there, and we want to be supportive of it. So let's get some meetings set up, and we'll make some differences, okay?
I would also like to say that RPD has been awesome. And we've had a lot of action.
Good, thank you.
And the officers the other night during the shooting, they were incredible. You know, it made us feel safe. Although crime happened, those officers took control of that situation immediately. And, you know, I'm grateful for that.
Yep.
Big time. So, thank you.
We appreciate it.
We're gonna try our best.
We'll help. Let us know, okay? Anybody else on the council? Councilman Peranto got followed home by 3 police officers just yesterday or the day?
Yesterday, yeah.
Just yesterday.
Thanks for sharing, Mayor.
It was a really good story. Do you want to elaborate your?
I'd rather not, thank you, though.
All right.
Actually, I will elaborate. The chief mentioned that, you know, a lot of times it's really important that they check on people because other than just drinking and driving, sometimes people could be having a medical issue. And it's important to follow up on all the leads, and they do. And I was really happy that they did, even though nothing really happened. They still checked on me and made sure everything was okay, and for my benefit and the public. So I did appreciate that. A little chagrined, but
Thank you very much.
thanks, Mayor. I owe you one.
It was, you'll have to wait till I turn my back again. Would the city clerk please read the consent agenda items by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Approval of the minutes, June 7th, 2022 regular council meeting. Approval of the minutes, June 7th, 2022 executive session. Approval of the minutes, June 14th, 2022 special council meeting. Approval of the minutes, June 21st, 2022 Finance Committee meeting. Approval of the Finance Committee recommendations for June 21st, 2022. Approval of the municipal court report for the month of May 2022. And the following open container permit applications, the first of which were submitted by Baked on Broadway for the Taste of Riverton Summer Concert Series at City Park on 3 different dates, June 24th, 2022, July 22nd, 2022, and August 19th, 2022, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. And the other set also submitted by Baked on Broadway for Happy Days at City Park on July 8th, 2022, from 4:30 p.m. to 10 p.m., and on July 9th, 2022, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Are there any items requiring further discussion?
Your Honor, the Finance Committee met earlier this evening and approved the consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $544,263.87. Payroll and liabilities for June 3rd, 22 in the amount of $219,986.35, for a total of $764,250.22.
Thank you. Are there any items, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved. Second.
Councilman Larson has the motion. Councilman Bailey has the second. Councilman Pronto.
I would like to abstain from any warrants paid to Traveling Computers or WYDOT.
Councilman
And I
Bailey.
would also abstain from any Bailey Enterprises line items on the Finance Committee report.
Any further council discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion passed. The Wind River Visitors Council Board appointment, Julie Bowler. Mayor's report. We're fortunate to have Julie Bowler to sit on our advisory panel for the Wind River Visitors Council. She is a true Riverton supporter, and she pushes everything she can for Riverton. And every once in a while, she gets her finger stuck in the door. And so if you see her inched up in a door, try to let her out. We appreciate the hard work that she does, and that's amazing what they do. They handle a little over $1 million in a year, and we appreciate that. And she's on that panel along with Hal Heron. We appreciate Hal also, and we'd like to present her name. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the reappointment of Mrs. Julie Bowler to the Wind River Visitors Council for a 3-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Bailey has a motion, and Councilwoman Salisbury has the second. Any council discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Consideration of ordinance number 22-005, second reading, Riverton Municipal Code, Title 17, zoning definition. Would the city clerk please read ordinance number 22-005 by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Proposed ordinance number 22-005 on second reading. An ordinance amending Title 17 zoning to revise Chapter 17.08 definitions, Section 17.08.010 definitions of the Riverton Municipal Code, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 22-005 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Pronto has a motion. Councilwoman Cox has a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Consideration of ordinance number 22-006, second reading, residential 4 zoning revision. Would the city clerk please read ordinance number 22-006 by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Proposed ordinance number 22-006 on second reading. An ordinance amending Title 17 zoning, Chapter 17.40 R4 Residential District, Section 17.40.020 Lot Area, Section 17.40.030 Height and Floor Area of the Riverton Municipal Code, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 22-006 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Bailey has the motion. Councilwoman Cox has a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Consideration of memorandum of understanding with WYDOT for the commercial air service. Airport Division Manager's report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Coming before you tonight is Amendment 2 of the Air Service MOU, Memorandum of Understanding between the City and WYDOT. Excuse me. A little background. The Commercial Air Service Improvement Act of 2018 created a Commercial Air Service Improvement Council to develop a long-term plan to improve air service in Wyoming. The council determined that pursuing a capacity purchase agreement, or CPA, for the critical needs of airports was the way to go, and to preserve the Air Service Enhancement Program called ASAP for the growth airports. The Commercial Air Service Improvement Council solicited RFPs from airlines to provide service to Gillette, Riverton, Rock Springs, and Sheridan. This was determined that SkyWest Airlines was the best fitment for this requirement. Following the selection of the SkyWest Airlines, WYDOT Aeronautics negotiated with the airlines on June 24th of 2019. The Aeronautics Commission considered and unanimously approved the CPA contract between the state of Wyoming and SkyWest Airlines. With this contract in place, the city of Riverton had the opportunity to opt into this newly established commercial air service improvement program and to start receiving some commercial air service from SkyWest Airlines. The council unanimously voted to do so on August 6, 2019. The mechanism by which was accomplished was a MOU that detailed the level of service that Fremont County could expect under this program. SkyWest Airlines began service to Central Wyoming Regional Airport on January 12th of 2020. Then COVID-19 hit about a year later and dramatically changed commercial air service across the nation. It also required an amendment to the city's MOU with the state. That was amendment number 1. It was proposed to the city council and approved on January 19th of 2021. This allowed WYDOT, the city of Riverton, and SkyWest Airlines to make frequent and rapid schedule changes as needed due to COVID-19. Some discussion. The original term of air service contract between SkyWest and WYDOT is July 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2022. The contract may be extended up to 2 times, with the first extension of 3 years and the second extension of 4 years. After several months of negotiation and discussion, SkyWest Airlines and WYDOT agreed to enter into the first extension term on May 21st of 2022. Consequently, the new term of air service contract is July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2025. The extended contract between the state and SkyWest includes a new block hour and annual subsidy cost projections, and these are in your packets. Thanks to the Commercial Air Service Improvement Program, subsidy costs associated with SkyWest Airlines are shared between WYDOT and the local community at a ratio of 60-40 respectively. The city needs to amend its MOU with WYDOT in order to continue to participate in the Commercial Air Service Improvement Program and to receive continued air service from SkyWest Airlines. Excuse me. Amendment number 2 proposes the following. An update to the term of the original MOU to match the CPA contract between WYDOT and SkyWest Airlines, and also to update the scope of service as they pertain to the flight schedules, block hour costs, subsidy cost requirements for the community and WYDOT. All other terms and conditions of the original MOU remain in effect. Staff recommendation is to approve amendment number 2, as this allows Riverton to continue to participate in the Commercial Air Service Improvement Program and to maintain commercial air service with SkyWest Airlines beyond the June 30th, 2022. The other available actions that the council could take are, number 1, you could disapprove Amendment 2. This action would lead to a loss of commercial air service from SkyWest on July 1st, 2022. If council was to choose to continue commercial air service in Fremont County, it would need to solicit and recruit another air carrier to include all costs associated with without the assistance from the state. We could also lose TSA if the process took a considerable amount of time before we found a new carrier. We would also have the potential loss of any associated revenues from ground leases, landing fees, fuel taxes, etc. Option 3 would be to take no action. The council could choose to delay any action on the proposed amendment. This would lead to a brief suspension of the commercial air service until action was taken. A budget impact. Pursuant to the conditions of the MOU and subsequent amendments, the city agrees to reimburse WYDOT 40% of the costs related to the commercial air service provided by SkyWest Airlines. These costs are established by the actual block hour and fuel consumed on a quarterly basis. Revenue generated from the 0.5% economic development tax will support these costs. FAST is also working with EDGE, LIFT, MOVE committees to receive funding from commercial air service.
Thanks, Paul.
Your Honor.
We appreciate what you do up there. You're a great manager. You do a good job. The chair would entertain a motion to approve Amendment 2 to the Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU, between Wyoming Department of Transportation, WYDOT, and the city of Riverton.
Your Honor. Sorry, so moved.
Second.
Councilman Toronto has a motion. Councilman Bailey has a second. Any discussion?
It's been a great program and has really helped our community.
Yeah, and I don't tell this story very often, but many years ago, Cade Mathis had this idea, and he's a councilman out of Lander, Wyoming. And we were down at the legislative session, he and I, and he tracked down some legislators and put this bee in their ear, and it was a great idea. And we had a long, lengthy discussion about how this would work, and it's taken a long time to bring that about. But we have a FAST committee that Ernie sits on, and Kyle's not here, but we have lots of individuals that sit on FAST that do a wonderful job. We have 2 council members, Councilman Bailey and Larson, attend the airport meetings regularly. Councilman Perantos chaired that committee for 12 years.
Yes, sir.
Before they let you go.
Finally kicked me out.
So it's been a long endeavor, and we really do appreciate what has been done. And what I really would like to point out, my thanks to the citizens of Fremont County who passed that 0.5-cent tax and are doing the major lifting for the airport and the ground transportation. And we really do appreciate what you've done, and we've tried to put that money to use to better the economic growth in Fremont County, and I think we're at that point. Any other discussion?
I think it's great.
Thanks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. For council reports, Lindsay, could you start us off?
Sure. I actually have not attended any meetings since our last meeting, so I don't have anything to report on.
Mike?
Again, I have not had any meetings also, but again, another comment. I had a lot of people comment about the flags, and it's nice to see them up Main and Federal, and I think they've expanded where they're putting them, and I think it really is a great thing for people to see when they drive through town. So.
It really is pretty, isn't it?
Yeah,
You sit up on top of Main Street and look down, and I can see why Mayor Myers stopped, and he probably was wiping tears out of his eyes. Dean?
Your Honor, I haven't had any meetings since the last time we met, and I'll follow in Mike's footsteps and say I really appreciate you inviting those guys to our meeting tonight and recognize them. It's important that we as a community recognize the veterans and the sacrifice that the veterans and our families have made, not just for our country, but for our city.
That's right.
It's really important.
It really is. And we really do need help there. I mean, if anybody other groups, organizations that can come up with ideas on how to spell them off would be greatly enhanced by taking up that cause. Kyle?
There was no airport meeting this previous time. The agenda was, and availability of people from vacations. Secondly, I attended the solid waste management yesterday, and the Lander landfill is projected to be closed on 2027. When I first went over there, it was mandatory going to be closed 2024. Then we had an election in 2016, and it went to 2036. So anyway, they do hire people to measure the free space. The significance of that is that our garbage goes that direction. And so that's the importance of that. We're spending about $53,000 a month on solid waste, and they're run quite well. The most interesting thing is when they have requested bids for scale houses, they prepared this bids just like we do. They got 0 respondent. So they were scratching their heads. They called Kyle Butterfield, and anyway, so they're going to rebid that. The important thing that happened, though, was they got a letter from the EPA wanting them being us, because we supply the money that they have. We're feeding the lion's share from Riverton.
Cash cow.
And the EPA wanted the state to throw in $1 million, the 2 tribes to throw in $1 million, and for the solid waste district to take responsibility of 19 waste management sites, illegal dumping sites on the reservation, without authority, without extra manning, without income, without anything. So after my comment to them, which I couldn't hold back, they were writing a letter to the EPA stating that they would not be signing any agreement as to that, which would essentially cause you to be responsible for 19 landfills. But the comment was made that they had gone out to Sand Draw. There's an empty draw close to Sand Draw. And they had remediated it, put in a fence, and cleaned it up. 2 days later, it was right back, same junk. So what I'm getting on a bill people. I said, this can't be from us. I said, we need to take our garbage, and the tipping fees for yard waste is essentially nothing when it's green, and recycling and motor oil and all that stuff. And we need to put it in the landfill. nobody in his right mind is gonna spend $20 in gas hauling out there to Sandral and dumping it, not in the dump. And so I got a nod of head, but anyway, what I'm really trying to say is as responsible citizens of Fremont County, of Wyoming, we need to take care of those things which matter most, and that is, you know, we live here. Don't crap in your nest. Take it to the dump. Dispose of it properly. If you've got used computers, that doesn't cost you anything to drive down to the recycle plant and dump them there. Motor oil, the same way.
Doesn't e-waste cost more?
No, e-waste is free.
Is it free?
It's free.
So is the television e-waste?
Free. It's free. And to drive out to Sandra and dump it in some land, you're wasting your money. It's free. The only time the land is not open is Monday. I mean, obviously, you can wait Sunday and Monday. You could wait 2 days and save, you know, that's a case of beer. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thanks, Kyle.
Hard to follow up with. There was a chamber meeting. It was mostly organizational, some housekeeping, cleaning up some stuff. But I also wanted to say I attended the Indian National Rodeo, and it was excellent. I was really glad I went, and it was a really good time. So, had beautiful horses. It was a lot of fun. So, I appreciate that group for bringing it to Riverton, and the flags that they had on Federal were also pretty cool to drive into. And I had lots of people talk about Flag Day as well, so we do need some help.
It was nice to see those flags for the rodeo. That was good. My report, I'll let that. We were fortunate this last 2 weeks to be able to go down to the WHAM, which stands for the Wyoming Association of Municipalities. And there's 99 municipalities in the state of Wyoming. And there's a lot of great information in that 3-day conference. I was just stunned by the information that was presented about the new state of marijuana and how potent the product is, and the different delivery sources that it came in anymore, and just unbelievable. And I want to appreciate Councilwoman Borders for her time going down and going to that, and of course, City Administrator Tolstead went with us, and we spent a lot of time in important meetings. We got to talk to WYDOT, not only about, as we were leaving town, we drove down Main Street and it was all blocked off, just from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill. And I said to Tony, you know anything about that? And he said, nope. And so we dialed up Kyle, and Kyle didn't know anything about it. And so we got down to the meeting. We said, you know, on the way down, we now got a picture from Bruce Kalmenko, who's standing out. His whole shop is blocked off from, and so as we questioned that, the WYDOT got ahead in their schedule, and they had time to come do that side of Main Street, and we do appreciate the work that they do for us, and we don't want to complain. I did complain about the new Meridian in the middle of the street, and we got another sign to aim for, and so
Fourth time's a charm.
we had all the WYDOT directors in the entire state in one room, and we had General Reiner, thank you. He was there, and he was probably the best presenter in the entire conference, and he does a wonderful job with all that resources that are put in front of him. now they're tasked with putting electric charging stations. And they can't put them anywhere except on I-80 and I-25 and I-90. And it has to be within 1 mile of the road. And it's 600 kilowatt transformers that they've got to put in. And so they're hard at work trying to get that set up. And as soon as they can either get that set up or get a waiver from the state, they'll be able to move out into the rest of the state where we don't have those corridors. But the information that we got was quite interesting and quite helpful. I also, when I got back, had a really great conversation with our animal control officer. She does a wonderful job. And if you have problems with any of that stuff, please call the police department. Call me. We can get those things taken care of. And I did have a couple calls this week, and we're working really hard to make those things change. So, does staff have anything to add? We do have a 5:30 meeting next Tuesday to amend the last year's budget to move dollars to where they need to be for Mia, and she has that all broken down already. So we can get that information, and that's interior budget moves, is that correct? From inside budgets, you want to add it, did I get that right, or do you need to add?
It's just our year-end budget amendment, so we will be right-sizing, transferring between different departments and making recommendations to even things up before the end of the year.
So I don't think it'll be a long meeting, but it will be at 5:30 here in council chambers. So they're getting their money's worth this month. Huh? So if there's nothing from staff, news has anything to add? You okay?
Can I make a quick comment?
Please.
I was going to point out that the lights down Federal look good too, up towards Walmart. I saw them working on that the other day, and boy, that looks really nice.
Aren't they pretty?
Yep, really kind of finished that off.
Did they throw the power to them? I haven't seen them lit.
I haven't seen them lit either, but they look good.
I think the report was in the staff report said they were going to do it last Thursday. So maybe we should stay up late.
Well, they were working all day Wednesday, man. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
They are pretty poles. They're a little bit taller than the last run. And so it does enhance our look. We have the best corridors in the entire state. When you come in on Federal, past Bailey's and into town, our roads are wide and clean and taken care of. I just need to get some help with those heat bumps that our sidewalks. And so I've been harping on that for.
Yeah, when they expand and pop.
Yeah, been harping on that for 18 months. So we need to get those fixed before we launch somebody into the roadway.
Great bike jumps.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Anything else? Council, have anything else? If there's no objections, we'll stand adjourned. There's no executive session. We'll stand adjourned at 7:30.